Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today I have fan mail. This one is from Moman, and his real name is Jacob, and he's from Australia, and he has sent me this package all the way from Australia, and he has paid 20 Australian dollars. A lot of money to send a package across the world to me, but I'm very grateful. Thank you very, very much. And Jacob saw something that I had laying around in one of my videos, but let's see what Jacob sent me. And here is the package with my address, and I kind of see that Jacob has had access to a keyboard all his life, so I don't know how old Jacob is, but let's go into the packet and see what's arrived from Australia. There is all kinds of funny labels on this. ID recorded, that's probably some Australian stuff. And there is something about this being computer parts and a value of 5 Australian dollars. And the postage mark is up there. And there is one here from the Danish post office when they tried to deliver it and I wasn't home. Oh, there's a letter here. Hello, I'm Jacob. I live in Australia. I'm 16 and I work as a painting apprentice. This letter will be short, but I like your videos and the things that you do in your data center. Hope you like the CPU. Bye. P.S. It is real fan mail. It doesn't have a fan in it. He writes that because I got fan mail. That was a package with computer fans. Actually, I've gotten 2 of those. But yes, Jacob has sent me a CPU here. And well, I didn't know this was coming. Let's see what. There's a lot of. We can make snow here. And this is an i3 processor, and it's an LGA 1150. And this is because Jacob saw something that I had on my videos, one of my videos, and that was this box, which is apparently a good motherboard. I got this from a friend because they broke it. So let's see what they broke. This is a very nice box, and I do recognize that this must be a very high-end motherboard as well, because it just looks good, right? I don't know how old this is, but here it is. And well, I got this motherboard and I really didn't have a processor for it, and that's Jacob wrote to me on a video that he had seen this motherboard and what I was gonna do with that, and I wrote back that, well, this motherboard wasn't really working and I just got it, and he thought it was a shame and I didn't have a CPU for it, so he offered to send me one, and that was absolutely awesome. It's a really nice motherboard. The problem with it was that some of the pins had become bended, and these are tiny pins down here. You can kind of see that some of them is out of alignment. I'll try and zoom in here. Ooh. That's not a good way to do that. That will make them come unaligned again. Here it is, and you can see some up here is something that is not totally in alignment. Over here is something else, and there is something. And this is nothing. I've actually used close to an hour trying to fix these pins with a needle and just bending them ever so slightly. So that was why I thought that this might be working now. It's not perfect, but it might just be good enough. So let's go into this CPU. It's brand new, I think. I don't know how I got to get a brand new CPU. It's not a fast one. It's kind of a regular one. It's just as big as it needs to be to do this. Oh, it comes with a heatsink. Does it have a fan? It has a fan. This is real fan mail. Oh yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you, Jacob, for the fan mail. And a CPU. Cool. And here is the processor. It's an i3 4170. It's a 3.7 gigahertz. I think it's a dual core. 3.7 gigahertz. Holy moly. That's fast, isn't it? And it comes with a little instruction. Right. They taped it. Why did they tape it? Huh? Oh, a label. i3. Cool. I don't think there is anything in this that we really need. So, well, back in the box. That's so cool. I think we will try this out. I do believe that I have fixed the pins as good as I can on this motherboard. So we might as well just put this in very carefully. 3.7 gigahertz. Here is the bottom of it. Oh, it's so pretty. Vietnam. Probably made in Vietnam then. Okay, let's see. We could put it in like this. That looks about right. And put this down. Like that. And the processor is in. Now we have this wonderful fan mail with a heatsink. And there is some heatsink compound on it as well. I don't think I need to put anything else on it. I think this will do. This fan is probably a bit less than anyone else would put on this motherboard, but this motherboard can do processes a lot faster than this one, and I really want to see if this works. So we're gonna attach this fan, and let's see, I need to get the cable over there, so I need to come around. So we need a little more cable. Something like that will do. And it comes with some plastic attachments here that goes into the holes on the motherboard, system board. And how does this work? Okay, turn them around, press down and turn them back like that, and the fan is mounted. That's that. Over here it says CPU fan, and then it says CPU OPT. I'm guessing optional, so that, and I'll go prepare some power supply and stuff and see what happens. So I've set this up. I was actually gonna put in a graphics card, but then I kind of saw that the motherboard had a graphics card all by itself, and for fixing errors and stuff, it's much better to use as little as possible. So I was planning on trying the onboard graphics and hoping that it would at least show some screen. It could be disabled in the BIOS or the UEFI thing, but well, let's go see that. I've put on a Corsair power supply, and this is absolutely nothing. It's just what I had laying around. Okay, no smokes coming out, and it's lighting up red. Okay. I hope that's a good thing. Don't know if that's supposed to do that. I only had a couple of memory sticks, DDR3 RAM, so I hope those are good. And it has a big nice start button, so let's see what happens. Oh, my fan is blue. And that one. Oh, I've turned off the screen. That's not good. Nothing on the screen as of yet. Nothing happening there. Get an 55 error code here. Or SS. Not sure what that means. I'll have to go look that up. I am not having a lot of luck with this. I tried with these memory blocks. Let's just see what happens. The big nice start button there. And there are some error LEDs there. And it stops right at the... I can zoom in on that. Urge. See if we can focus on that. Dim LED. That's the memory, right? I tried with some different memory, and as much equipment that I really think I have, like memory, I must have like 256 gigabytes of memory just laying around. I don't have anything that fits this stuff. These are DDR3 RAM blocks, but they don't seem to work any better. And these ones are actually a couple of server blocks that I just tried in there, and I get exactly the same error. And I don't know if it's really the memory or if this is the motherboard being defective. But I have called my cousin, and he has a couple of blocks, or one block. I don't know how many he has, but he would lend me those, and I can try and see if they're compatible with this. Let's see the manual for a while. I was quite amazed about this manual. First, I figured out that I put the memory blocks in the wrong slots for maximum performance. It wants me to put it in DIMM A2, and I would have guessed that A1 would be the way to start, but apparently it's A2. So they recommend memory configuration. If you just have one block, put it in A2. If you have two blocks, you put it in A2 and B2. And if you have 4 blocks, you put it in all of the slots. That's kind of the easy one. Then there's a lot of the memory stuff here. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half pages of compatible memory for this system, which is kind of amazing. They have a lot of good stuff here. They do also have this Datacenter brand that I have here. They have some of those blocks in here too. There is not any of them here under the DDR3 1333 megahertz apparently. So these blocks, they are not compatible. I'm hoping that my cousin has some, and maybe just see the screen flicker for a second or two. So I was just looking at the features that this processor has, and it's actually quite cool. I have to look that way because that's where the screen actually is. It came out first quarter of 2015. It has 3 megabytes of cache. That's not a lot, but it's a 5 GTS processor, which is pretty awesome for it has 2 cores. You can see that down here. It has 2 cores and it has hyperthreading, and that makes a total of 4 threads, right? And it uses a max of 54 watts, and it's a 3.7 gigahertz. It's not able to do boosting, so it's not able to overclock or to go even faster. Absolutely running at the maximum. It has a lot of features here. I'm used to looking at Xeon processors, and they usually don't have all these features, at least not the old ones that I'm looking at. So this is pretty awesome. But of course the Xeons don't really have a graphics card chip built into them, so that's probably part of it. Very awesome. I also looked up the benchmark for the processor, and it's up here, and it scores 5162. That's not a bad mark for a dual core processor. I know that the one that I have in my machine here that we are actually looking at, it scores about 4000. So this one is about 1162 better. So it's awesome, cool. You can just press that, get a little more information. It's right about there. It's a little bit slower than a Xeon E5630. It must be a really good single thread processor. Let's go in and see that. Up here it scores a single thread count of 2139. That's not bad with 400 and a lot of samples. So I drove up and I borrowed 2 blocks of my cousin, and they're not on the list. But it's damn close. This is 1.65 volt memory sticks, and it has this number for the memory, and this one comes very close. Kind of a couple of them come very close, but well, I guess we'll just have to put it in and see if it blinks or anything like that. I was just testing with a couple of server memory blocks just to see if I could get lucky. I did not get lucky. So let's put these in. I have taken the power off. Power on and start. Let's see what happens. Not much at all, I'm afraid. Same thing. It just stops when testing the memory. Well, it could be the memory, it could be a bad socket on the CPU. I am afraid that this is a bad thing. This is tiny, but it's one of the pins from the socket over here, and it dropped out when I took out the processor. Oh, there it is. It's so small the camera can't even focus on it. That's as big as it gets on the camera. That pretty much ruins this board for good. I've been looking at this and it seems like that lake came from right there. This is a needle. It looks pretty big compared to all these lakes. I'm afraid that really concludes this video on a bad note. The system board is defective and a bad CPU socket. Could of course look if there is someone else that has made a YouTube video on how to change a CPU socket, but I really think it's sophisticated. Don't know if anyone has tried to exchange a CPU socket. Thank you very much to Jacob Granville from Australia for sending me this awesome CPU. It's right here. That's a really nice CPU, and I'm sure I will get another system board to run a nice CPU like this. It's actually quite a bit faster than my PC and that thing. It's definitely not Jacob's fault. He was so kind. He saw that I had this box laying around. I told him that it was a motherboard with bended pins on the CPU, and he offered to send me a CPU so I could figure out if this board was working. I'm afraid it's not. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.